must tell you that I'm so honored to have Peter Gersten on my show. He probably doesn't even remember me, but I remember meeting him one time. It was in California, the UFO Expo. We were there. I just said hello to him. I was just an up-and-coming talk show host at the time. Had a local show in Salt Lake City. And it was during the time that the Gary Lowry case had made news. And it made news on Coast to Coast AM at the time. And Peter was one of the lawyers involved. He was also crucial in getting a lot of documents released. He was known as the UFO lawyer, and he also was part of the Cash Lantern case, one of the infamous cases of a UFO appearing and harming someone. Of course, Peter has been on several shows, but I haven't really heard anything from Peter for a long time, and to have him on my show tonight is going to be amazing because what he's about to share with us, something that he wants to share with us and let us know that he's about to do something that many people may think is a little crazy or out there, but it may be something that will prove a point and teach us something. And so we're going to have Peter tell the story. Peter, welcome to Ground Zero.
Clyde. Welcome to Sedona.
Gosh, welcome to my show. You know how long it's been since I've seen you? It's been forever. Now I've gone through cancer and back again. I'm back on the air, and I'm so glad to hear your voice again. What I want to do is I want to ask you about some things. It's been a while since I've spoken to you, and I was on your site just, going over all the things you've been talking about. I want you to first explain to my listeners about how you feel about this holographic universe and how we may be on this Mobius strip that doesn't seem to be ending.
Well, I have a simple, belief, and that is we exist within an intelligently designed cosmic computer program. I refer to it by various names, cosmic computer program, simulation. I think it's a form of technology, a holographic technology. It's a technology that converts energy into matter. Mm-hmm. And creates simulation, and there's a purpose and design behind it. And I don't see, it's like a different level. We create video games and movies. Whatever this intelligence is, it can create holographic realities, simulations. And that's what I think this is, similar to what you saw in the 13th floor, someone like The Matrix, combination of Truman Show, those type of movies, Total Recall. Give us an idea of what it is we exist in. And I use the word technology, even though it's probably a different form of technology. It's a metaphor. It's a different type of reality, and that's what it creates. We can see our type of technology progressing in that direction. Virtual reality, 3D that you see in the movies. This is just a higher level of technology than we're used to.
Tell us what you're about to do.
Well, it's funny because maybe 2 years ago, I gave the impression, an interpretation of what I thought my leap of faith was about. But that was 2 years ago, and at least during the last 12 years, I have clarified that position, but it seems that the people are really not interested in the clarification. They focus on their interpretation of what I meant 2 years ago, that I'm going to jump off the top of Bell Rock because I think that's the only way to save humanity. That's not true now. The only thing that I can understand about December 21st is that I will be up on that rock, on Bell Rock, by 11 o'clock in the morning, and I will stay up there until the happening of one or two events, whichever occurs first, an extraordinary event or 12 o'clock midnight. And if 12 o'clock midnight comes first, then I will be coming down the rock the same way I went up in the morning.
So you're not going to jump off the rock?
I can't say I'm not going to jump off the rock because I don't know the dynamics of the extraordinary event. I certainly believe, based on my research, based on what has gone on in Sedona for the last 3 months, that my leap of faith involves what I'm doing now. Now, it might also involve another part once I'm up there, and I still think an extraordinary event is going to occur. And if one does occur, I will access that, whether it's a doorway, whether it's a beam of light, whether it's some type of gateway. And these are all metaphors.
So if you see the gateway, if you see the extraordinary event in Sedona, then this will be your cue to do what you plan to do, and that is to jump off Bell Rock into that vortex. Am I right?
That interpretation of me jumping off something was in the context of a leap of faith, thinking that I would need to activate the portal because there was some sign that the portal would have to be activated with a leap of faith. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. Right. If I wanted a portal to open, then I have to do the greatest risk. That's risking my life. And at one point, I was saying, hey, listen, I'm going to be 70 anyway. It's time to leave the program. Now, you have to understand that I guess at least since 2000, I've had this strange fascination with this rock that is here. It's called Bell Rock. It's shaped like a bell, at least if you look at it from the south. Now, just to give you an idea of its significance, Bell Rock is my Devil's Tower. That's Bell Rock to me. That's that same fascination, except I don't have to make it out of mashed potatoes. All I have to do is look out of my window. I believe that the only thing that this cosmic computer needs to create for the simulation is the present moment. The only things that you can sense with your eyes, ears, nose. Basically, New York City isn't there in my present moment. Doesn't have to be created. But what needs to be created is what I can see. And if I can see Bell Rock and hike within Bell Rock and experience Bell Rock as well as the other rocks around, then I can be in that energy pattern that's creating that.
The rock itself looks like it was built in a vortex, Peter. That's why I find it interesting that you're saying that around that time, of the 11/11 on the 21st, that you will see, or there will be, the appearance of a vortex, a time-dimensional wormhole, or even an Einstein-Rosen bridge that will show up there in Sedona on December 21st, 2012.
I don't take the numbers themselves literally. I think everything's symbolism here. You have to look at something as a symbol to understand the communication, the language that this other, whatever this life form is that we're in contact with, speaks or communicates. It's all symbolism. So the 11/11 has a symbolism attached to it. So I decided to be in my own reality show, and that's what this is feeling now. Like I'm in some type of game, and nothing that has been transpiring in the last 2 years has changed my mind. This is some type of reality show, some type of game to get to the next level. Something I think is definitely going to happen here. Bell Rock is involved. Something remarkable is going to happen. I've been looking, my whole life has been pointed to December 21st, 2012.
So what are you going to be doing at 11:11 Greenwich Mean Time the morning of December 21st, 2012?
I'll be up there before 11:11 that morning, and I will stay up there until the 11th hour. And the 11th hour is the last possible moment something can happen. If the opportunity presents itself, I need to access the portal.
So you will jump into the portal if it presents itself?
Well, whatever presents itself, I'm going to try to access. Anything extraordinary I'm going to try to access. I need to access. There's a point, and the metaphor is the video games and the computer games. There are different places within a level where you can access maybe not the next level, but the level after that without going through the entire level. But the bottom line is I believe the simulation is corrupted by a virus. So the portal, the 11/11 portal at Bell Rock that opens on December 21st is the portal that leads to the Galactic Center. So I need to access that portal to get to the Galactic Center to neutralize the virus in order to restore the natural balance to the simulation, not to save humanity.
And the way to do that is to jump in to that portal. And aren't you worried about dying by going into that portal, jumping as high as you're jumping?
I don't think you need a jump. I don't think you need a leap. I think you just need to walk across this one little place into the next level or through the other side.
Do you believe, so do you believe that if you do go into the next level, that you're going to pass away, that you're going to die?
Well, I don't believe. You mean, am I going to lose my physical body? I'm not going to die because, Clyde.
What?
If, in fact, an extraordinary event happens, then everything that I've been talking about, including bringing all these people to the top of Bell Rock, is to confirm what what I've been talking about. So why would I think it would be any different? In other words, if all of a sudden portal opens, but where is it going to take me? To China? You know, if in fact the portal opens, then my story is manifesting. Then I won first prize in this game that I'm in. In other words, the prize at the end of this reality show, a game, is to get your ending manifested, to take you to the next level, to renew the first season. My first season ends on December 21st. I use all these metaphors.
So your first season of life is going to end on December 21st, 2012.
One way or the other, my story ends. If nothing happens, I'm walking down Bell Rock as I walked up. My story ends. I have no story on December 22nd. My story ends one way or the other on December 21st.
But a new story begins, right?
If I get that prize, if I get that award, if my season is renewed and it's not guaranteed, I still got 11 days.
So you have 11 days, and then on that 11th day, you're going to make the decision to go in and right the wrongs of the program by going into the vortex that appears. And either way, you feel you're going to walk away from this.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to have a physical body or whether you need one in the next level. You know, this is a low level. You need a physical body. But once you transcend, I can see the next level. You know, the metaphors in the video games, they have different levels. Why would this be the only level? This is definitely not the only one of these that I've been in before.
He is committing suicide. He's committing suicide.
I think whatever's going to happen on top of Bell Rock is incomprehensible. I think that it'll be the type of event that I will say, yes, okay, that's what I was looking for. That's what I wanted. I don't think it's going to be what I expected, but I'm going to be satisfied with it when it does occur. And I'm hoping, of course, that it is what I think it might be and that, you know, it just goes to the next level. It's as simple as that.
So you'd be walking into a doorway and you'd be leaving this life for a life on the other side.
Yeah, I would take my chances to see. Hey, I'm 70.
This is a very important move. I mean, would you say it's a suicide?
I don't know the exact definition of committing suicide. I'm prepared to lose my physical body. This is a simulation. There are many simulations. It's not the first one I was in. You leave one. It's like leaving a movie theater, multiplex movie theater. You go from one movie room to the next movie room. It's the same thing. They're all occurring simultaneously. So no big deal. People die. Everybody dies. You know, I'm going to have a reason before I lose my physical body, but if it takes losing your physical body to access the next level, then by definition, I'm not going to need it at the next level. We all die. We all die. In other words, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I'm going to be dead. People die in accidents. They die from illnesses. They stay home with tubes in their throat and in their nose. They can't hardly walk. They sit in front of a TV all day. If in fact, this was the time for me to die, I would want to orchestrate my death in a great story. You know, I don't know how to answer that question other than it's my story. And I'm going to carry out my story, whether it's the ending I want or in some different form. At the end, I want to say, yes, that was a great, spectacular ending, like I would expect at any season-ending show. Everybody looks forward to the end of the season, that last show, the climax, whether it's two parts or one part, that cliffhanger. That's what I expect on December 21st, 2012. Nothing less.
You know, and I was looking over your site, and I was looking at what you were saying. I was thinking Peter needs to get his message out so that people are not misunderstanding what he's doing. What he's doing is he's seeing what is coming. He wants to approach it. He wants to look at it in a perspective that is more open for the idea of a program that needs to be changed or altered or somehow fixed. And if that does not transpire, then he will remain where he is and who he is. But if it happens and the opportunity is there, he may have to make a sacrifice to change it. Is this where you're coming from, Peter? Am I right in what I've interpreted from what you were saying on your site?
Yeah, that was very insightful. I agree. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's the bottom line. Yeah, I had to clarify exactly what I was going to do with my family. They threatened to have me committed, at least for the 24 hours, because they actually believed I was going to jump off the rock for no reason. So basically I had to convince them, number one, I'm not going to do anything foolish. So if nothing happens, I'm going to come down the same way I went up at 12 midnight. But I also told them that if something does in fact happen, something like I made an example that they could identify a spaceship comes over, like in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, then I'm going to try to access it. I'm doing this alone. I don't want any followers. I don't want anybody up there with me. Actually, it'd be easier just to be up there alone on a beautiful day, and I don't have to worry about anybody else. But the people naturally are going to come up there because it's December 21st, separate and aside from what they think I'm going to do if they ever heard of me in the first place. You can stand by and watch anybody do anything to anybody else, and unless there's a statute that mandates that you have to interfere, you don't have to do anything. But the bottom line is, the only way that I'm not going to be here on the next day is if an extraordinary event happens. And if an extraordinary event happens, they're going to be talking about the extraordinary event, not my disappearance.
Peter,
secondary.
I thank you for being on this program. We got to go. Okay. Not much time left. Thank you so much for being here.
Anytime, Clyde. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Take care. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
FM News 101 KXL.
Well, I'm Joan London. And if you're
well, we did it. It's on the record.
He said anytime. It's a pleasure, which means that he's planning for a future.